Hello, I just wanted to talk a little bit about bone broth because it's a big topic in any fasting group, and we've also been talking about it a lot. And the big question seems to be whether bone broth breaks a fast. Is it good to have bone broth during your fasting window? But here's the thing, bone broth is really good. It has a lot of benefits for your gut, for your health, for your skin, and it actually creates a lining in your gut to protect it from toxins, and it's really good. Like when you drink it on an empty stomach, and you can actually even do a bone broth fast as a form of detox. But so just to answer the question though, does bone broth break a fast? I, I think it depends really on how you define your fast and what benefits you are aiming for. If you're fasting for spiritual reasons, is it a matter of going without something so you can focus more on God? Or are you wanting to reach that level of mental clarity with autophagy, which also helps with your spiritual connection, right? And then are you fasting for physical reasons? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to reset your appetite and your taste buds, or do you want to heal from something? So those are the questions that people ask, right? But I saw this video on YouTube. It's by Two Fit Docs. You can look them up. They're a husband and wife team, and they're doctors. And they tested how bone broth affects a fast. And they defined breaking a fast as like when, like if you eat something and that it raises your blood glucose and it lowers your ketone levels. Because when you're fasting, right, you go into ketosis, and that's actually when you're in ketosis for a long time, that's when autophagy kicks in. So this happens when you're fasting. So they fasted, and then they had a cup of bone broth, and then they measured it with a blood glucose monitor. And what happened was the wife's glucose it stayed low, and her ketone levels stayed high. Well, the husband's glucose levels was raised, and then he also got kicked out of ketosis. So it really depends on your metabolism, how your body responds to what you're eating. So if you want to be really if you really want to know like what happens for you specifically, blood glucose monitor would help with that if you want to find out. But here are my takeaways. So bone broth can raise your blood glucose, and it can lower your ketones because it has protein in it. So it depends. It also could depend like how much you drink. If you drink a lot, just a little bit. But when you're fasting, I'd say first decide what your purpose is for fasting and what you want it to look like. Then, if you're fasting for the benefits of benefits from autophagy, it's best to keep bone broth to your eating window. Or if you need, go ahead and have a little bit, just to keep you going longer. And if you're fasting for weight loss or spiritual reasons in general, bone broth is a healthy drink to have during your fast too. But first, there are also specific reasons not to have bone broth for, like, if you're doing, like, if you want to heal something in your body. So we can talk through that too if you want to. But it is up to you on what you want to do. You can also use bone broth if you're having a difficult time fasting, because a lot of people who are just starting out trying longer fasts, it's really hard, and bone broth can help you like go longer. But the more you practice fasting, the more often you do it, it gets easier, and then eventually you'll be able to do it without bone broth in your fasting window. For me though, I still feel that bone broth is important during my fasting, but not, I don't drink it during my fasting window. I drink it like to break my fast. When I break my fast, I have a cup of bone broth, and then 30 minutes after I have a meal, my first meal. And then before I start my fast, like at the end of my eating, I also have a cup of bone broth, and I also have butter in it because the fats are gonna help me go longer without eating. And then as a side note too, because we do Some of us also put butter in bone broth, and it actually tastes really good. I like it like that. Or if you use fats in your coffee, I find that that sometimes this could also kick you out of your fasting, depending on how you define it, right? If I find a video that tests the fats, like amount of fats that would kick you out, I'll let you know. But I don't have one right now, to my knowledge, because fats are high in calories too. And that's the reason why it will kick you out of a fast. It will kick you out of ketosis or autophagy. But just a little bit of fats in your drink should be okay. Like 1 tablespoon butter or coconut oil or heavy whipping cream should be okay. I don't think that would kick you out because it's not high in protein. It's not high in sugar, so it wouldn't affect your blood glucose a lot. So that's all. If you have any questions, just let me know.